Wow, I am really serving egg vibes today. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video where today we are going to be talking about Kylie Cosmetics and what's happened to the brand in recent years since it has seemed to have dropped off. It doesn't have the initial hype that it had when it launched, and I just want to explore why it's lost so much popularity. So this video is going to be a long one. The script that I've got is about 4,000 words, which is quite a lot. For reference, my other longest video, which is 24 minutes, had a 2,400 word script, so make sure that you're sitting comfortably, you've got a snack, a drink, a blanket maybe, and make sure you're settled in, ready to watch this video. This video has taken a lot of kind of inspiration and a lot of research has been done on YouTube, so I'm gonna link a couple of videos that I use to get information from down below. This is basically like an updated version of the video that Tay-Mac did a few years ago that was called The Downfall of Kylie Cosmetics, but obviously a lot's happened since then, so there will be new information in this video, but definitely go and check out that video if you're interested. So the reason why I wanted to do this video is I recently read an article that named Kylie Jenner as the highest paid celebrity of the year. She earned $600 million this year, which it's a humble amount, you know, a living wage, if you will. And a lot of that money was put down to her sale of her majority share in Kylie Cosmetics, which was valued at around $600 million, which obviously Kylie didn't get all of that money because some of it went to tax, but she's earned $600 million this year, the majority of which has come from the sale of her company, and has led to her being declared and then undeclared as the youngest self-made billionaire ever. It does beg the question of how the company has maintained a valuation of $1.2 billion when it's simultaneously dropping off and losing all of its hype and prestige. So today I'm going to be going through everything that contributed to the downfall of Kylie Cosmetics. But let's start with a little bit of background. So Kylie Jenner founded Kylie Cosmetics in 2014, and she partnered with a manufacturer called Seed Beauty to make 3 lip kits, which launched on November 30th of 2015 in shades Candy K, which was a nude pink, Dolce K, which was a neutral brown nude, and True Brown K, which was a dark brown nude, and all of them sold out within seconds. And originally the brand was named Lip Kit by Kylie because that was her signature product, but rebranded to Kylie Cosmetics in February of the following year. The brand originally launched with 15,000 lip kits, but by February 2016 production had increased to 500,000 lip kits due to the massive success of the first launch. So Kylie cited her insecurity about her former lip size as the reason why she chose lip kits as her debut product. Also, there had been a lot of talk about Kylie's lips, about whether they were real or not, so it made sense to build upon that. And the novelty of the concept, you know, not many brands were releasing lip kits, combined with rave reviews, guaranteed sellout launches for the brand of any lip kit shade that they released. Within a year of launching, the brand was already worth $300 million. The first 2 years of the brand were crazy. The amount of hype surrounding every launch never seemed to die down. People got lip shades tattooed on them, people collected every shade, and people waited excitedly on the website for every launch, which would inevitably sell out. After a brief rebrand in May 2016 due to accusations of packaging theft, the brand was well on its way to becoming a global superpower in the makeup market. And good reviews were coming in left, right and centre from celebrities and beauty gurus alike, and there just seemed like there was going to be no stopping Kylie Cosmetics. And as the company grew, it expanded into more than just lip kits, making eyeshadow palettes, blushes, highlighters, glosses, concealers and more. And in 2017, Kylie Jenner was reported to have made $386 million personally from Kylie Cosmetics, and profit was expected to reach $1 billion by 2022. As the face of the brand, Kylie was everything. She was at the center of everything that they did, and they began to expand into more kind of merchandise, which was under the name The Kylie Shop, with like t-shirts, posters, that kind of stuff. And it's hard to imagine, like if you go back in time in 2017, no one could have thought that this brand was ever going to drop off. But following a number of controversies, the brand started to lose traction, and although it's still successful today, it's nowhere near what it was like in its prime. So the first big controversy surrounding the brand came with the release of the first Kylie glosses. And the glosses came in the same packaging as the lip kits, but they came without the lip liner, and instead of having the normal doe foot applicator, they had a brush applicator, which turned out to be a really bad decision by the packaging team since it caused huge problems for the brand. So you guys, if you've been around on YouTube for a while, will probably remember this video that Jeffree Star made where he called out Kylie Jenner for the state of the lip glosses that he received.
Okay, you guys know I love Kylie, but look at this wand. This is Kylie Jenner's makeup brand, and this is the quality. Hunty, no. I'm gonna try one more. This has never been used before. Oh my god. Not acceptable. This is no hate whatsoever. It's just like when you're a multi-million-dollar celebrity, why would you put anything out half-assed? And I've seen that she has mentioned the wand on her snap, right? It just doesn't make sense. Why are you a multi-million-dollar celebrity and putting out something janky? Like, the wand should be good the first time, not the second time you make the new batch. So what that basically tells me is that they half-assed it, put out the product, and then the next run, they're gonna make improvements. Bitch, it should be perfect the first damn time so every customer gets it. So no offense to her, but these are fucking garbage.
Showing that the wand had bristles that were sticking out even though it hadn't ever been used, and it rendered the product really difficult to use because, you know, when you put it on your lips it would leave residue around the outside from where the wand wasn't working properly and where the stray bristles of the brush would touch skin rather than lips. And Jeffree specifically noted that with the amount of money that Kylie has, it was extremely disappointing to see that her brand was putting out low quality products. He also made the point that although Kylie had addressed the problem on her Snapchat and claimed that it would be fixed in the next batch, any customer who received a product would not at that point be getting any compensation for that by future products being changed. They had still paid for a faulty product. And after Jeffree posted his short video, many other customers started to share pictures of their faulty products, and Kylie Cosmetics fell into hot water for not putting out good enough products, but also for not reimbursing customers. So Kylie then put out an apology on her Instagram and Snapchat stating that anyone who had ordered from the first launch would be receiving a redone version of the lip gloss from the second batch, and she showed off the new ones that she would be using for every gloss from that point onwards. That was good damage control because it kind of did everything that the customers were asking, but the damage to the brand's reputation had already been done because up to that point they hadn't really had any issues, like not any big issues. So this really kind of, they took a hit for this. And unfortunately for Kylie, this was the beginning of a few scandals that seemed to follow one after the other. And the next one came after the launch of her metal line and her highlighters. So the metals were lip kits with sparkle in them, and many customers were excited to see Kylie kind of branching out into more experimental colours, more experimental territory, as previously a lot of the shades had just been either nudes or like basic lip colours like reds and browns, with the exception of 2 blue shades that she'd put out. And the metals were welcomed as a more like fun addition to the line. However, once people started to receive their metal lip kits and also their highlighters, they were far from impressed to find that some of the lipsticks were half empty.
But then I undid the lid, and as you can see here, there you go, that top part here is not full.
And some of the highlighters were fully empty. Which led to customers questioning, especially the lip kits, whether this had been the case for all of her lip products and people just hadn't noticed it yet. And customers started to check every product that they received, and some found that lip kits and lip glosses were also not full, and they contained half the amount that they said they had. And what's worse was that the packaging had given the illusion that they were full, because I mean, I have a few Kylie lip kits, so I will show you what they look like. So the lipstick coats the entire like inside of the tube, so I can't see how much is left in this just from looking at it. I have to kind of pull it out and like scrape around the side to try and see. So you can see where I've scraped on the side, you can see that it's not full up to there. So that's what people were doing, and they were finding that their lip kits were half empty when they were brand new.
I go over, and then I turned it around, and literally when I saw that, my heart dropped.
Fuel was only added to the fire when the highlighters were launched and people were receiving empty boxes. Like the packaging was all there, but there was no product actually in the box, and people were slightly confused as to how this had happened. Like, surely they have a station in the factory where someone is responsible for gluing the product pans into the packaging, but I don't know. People were starting to question their quality control, their quality checks. Kylie was accused of rushing things out without really taking the time to make them right, and multiple YouTubers made videos calling Kylie out and advising their fans not to buy from her, which it briefly slowed sales down, especially of the highlighters and the metal lipsticks, but it didn't do like lasting damage to the brand. So next up in the list of scandals is the Colourpop Conspiracy. So a theory began to circulate that Kylie Cosmetics and Colourpop were using the same formulas and the same like manufacturer, and that they were just the same product in different packaging, which was controversial because Kylie's was twice the price of Colourpop. And Kylie addressed this and made a public statement that her brand was in no way affiliated with Colourpop, but fans weren't entirely convinced by this, and the co-founders of Colourpop then did an interview like a few weeks later where they revealed that both brands were part of the same manufacturer of Seed Beauty, and they said that they were happy to support and partner with Kylie, which implied a much closer relationship between the brands than Kylie had stated, and they even went as far as to describe Kylie's brand as a sister brand to Colourpop.
Kylie and her family have been friends for years. It's a good fit and a good partnership, and we're happy to support that business and partner with her to really, bring her vision to life.
Seed Beauty was actually founded a little over 2 years ago. The first brand out of Seed Beauty was Colourpop.
Part of the Seed Beauty business is that we are partners with Kylie Jenner on Kylie Cosmetics, and that's a sister company to Colourpop.
And Kylie responded to this saying that she had her own unique formula that Colourpop did not use, and although she loved Colourpop, they were not the same, they just used the same manufacturer. This scandal kind of discredited Kylie's integrity as a brand owner because people didn't know whether they could trust her to tell them the truth about the brand. Like a simple explanation like the one given by the founders of Colourpop would have cleared everything up if she just said, we use the same manufacturer but we're not the same brand. That would have been fine, but she didn't. She kind of implied that there was no relationship between the two, when obviously there was. So people then started to question whether she could be trusted to be truthful about the brand. Our next controversy comes with the release of her 9-pan purple palette, which was part of the autumn line of 2017, and it was supposed to be a sister palette to her bronze and burgundy 9-pans that she had already put out. As the saying goes, bad things come in threes, and this palette was bashed not long after its announcement by Kylie's friend and singer Madison because Madison hinted that it may not have been an original Kylie Jenner idea. So Madison and Kylie had a public friendship for a few years prior to this, and fans had speculated for a while that there was going to be a collab between the two, potentially a Kylie Cosmetics collab, which was only fueled by when Madison got caught by paparazzi getting into a car, and they asked if she was doing a collab with Kylie, and she said, oh, I don't know, maybe.
Really excited. We saw you hanging out with Kylie Jenner a lot. Are you working like on the lip line with her, or anything?
That was taken as kind of a hint, so it was very unexpected that Madison would turn on Kylie so suddenly. And Madison tweeted out, when people fully steal your idea and what they come out with was supposed to be a collab, whack, with a snake emoji, which is less of a subtle hint and more of her slapping us in the face with the fact that Kylie had screwed her over. And rumours began to circulate that Kylie had approached Madison under the guise of a collab, taken her ideas, dropped out of the collab, and then released it as a solo product. And people kind of took this idea and ran with it because Madison was very much hinting at the fact that this was supposed to be a collab and that it was her idea. She tweeted out pictures of her wearing purple eyeshadow, and that kind of solidified that her tweets were definitely about Kylie. Obviously, Kylie didn't make a statement about this, so no one really knows whether this actually happened or not, but Madison has made it fairly obvious that she was upset that Kylie did this release without her, so I don't know why she would be this upset if it wasn't supposed to be her release. Like, you don't see random celebrities getting angry at other celebrities for releasing makeup products. That they wouldn't do that unless they had some kind of personal connection to it. So, like, my personal opinion, I do think that that was at least partly supposed to be Madison's. whether she had that idea fully or not, or whether she proposed, you know, hey, maybe you should do a purple palette, and then Kylie was like, oh, good idea, and then went and designed it all herself, or whether she took the entire palette from Madison, we don't know, but I do think that Madison had some involvement in the conceptualization of that idea. One like small thing that I want to mention is fake products. So Kylie was forced to make statements publicly on fake products that were using her packaging and her name, and warning customers not to buy from any website except for her official KylieCosmetics.com one, because some fake products either were terrible quality, they were the wrong colour, or they were containing toxic materials like glue and gasoline, which is not really something that you want to put on your face.
Make sure you guys check the URL because these other websites are making fake product. It might look exactly like mine, but it's not mine. And the ingredients that they're using in these fake products are also really, really dangerous, which is my biggest concern. I'll get tweets sometimes saying your orders haven't arrived or the color's not right, and I have my customer service team look into it. And after we look into it and try to get to the bottom of it, it always comes down to the fact that these orders were not placed with KylieCosmetics.com. And I feel responsible to give you guys a warning because there's people out there that are trying to steal your money, and I just want you guys to have the very best. And again, only shop at KylieCosmetics.com if you want my products, because anywhere else they don't have that.
And this is not a point that I want to spend a lot of time on, but I think it's important to mention because the amount of fake products that were being produced in Kylie's name really can do damage to a brand's reputation. Like, she had such widespread fake products, it was ridiculous because they were in such high demand and they sold out so quickly. People were making fakes of them to try and satisfy the customers who didn't get one in the first release. It did really kind of damage her reputation because customers believed that they were buying from her and actually they weren't. And because of the hype surrounding Kylie's brand, there were so many fake products circulating, and obviously that's not her fault, but because they were so sought after, a lot of people fell into the trap and then blamed the brand for any adverse reaction that they had or any poor quality product they received, even though it wasn't the brand's fault. Right, so next up we have the infamous $360 brush set, launched in December of 2017 as part of the holiday collection for that year. And I mean, this was a disaster, it truly was. I mean, the first problem with these was that the brand labels itself as cruelty-free, and then Kylie made the statement that they were made from real animal hair, so that was odd. I don't know why she would do that when she knows that she has a cruelty-free brand. The second problem was the price tag. As soon as the brush set was announced, fans were shocked by how expensive these brushes were. $360 for 16 brushes is a price that can only be justified by a luxury brand providing the highest quality products possible, and people were very quick to tell Kylie this. And Kylie defended herself. She claimed that she had made the best quality brushes that she could, even comparing them to the likes of Kevyn Aucoin. And if you don't know who Kevyn Aucoin is, he at this point at least was like a god figure in the makeup industry, and his brand carried a level of prestige that Kylie Cosmetics could only dream of. Like, he was the very top brand at that point. So for Kylie to come out and say like, oh, my brushes, I've made them to be such good quality like Kevyn Aucoin brushes, people were like, really? Okay. And some people did give the brushes a try despite the price tag, but Kylie was really fighting an uphill battle here because it only got worse when the reviews started to come in. And the most famous review of these brushes was from Jeffree Star, who at that time he was the internet's favourite critic, and his video about Kylie's brushes now has 12 million views, in which he dragged those brushes to filth. He dragged them through the mud, and rightly so, because they did not deserve the price tag that they had, and he advised his fans to not touch them with a 10-foot pole. And this did not bode well with Kylie, who promptly removed him from the PR list, which is a fact that Jeffree has not been shy about telling people.
Yesterday I did confirm and I did tweet out that Kylie Cosmetics removed me from their PR list.
And that raised concerns that Kylie only sends PR to people who leave good reviews for her, and therefore the influencers who gave good reviews to Kylie were only doing so in order to stay on the PR list. And this really damaged the reputation of the brand, because people started to doubt whether what Kylie was putting out was really worth the money, or whether she was only putting out products because she knew people would buy them and spend that money, because surely she did not think that her brushes were really worth $360. Surely she didn't. But people bought them. That was the thing, is like she knew she could get away with doing it because she had such like cult fans that they would buy whatever she put out. The conspiracy about people essentially like sucking up to Kylie to stay on the PR list was only worsened with the release of the Kris Jenner Mother's Day collection. So a YouTuber whose channel name is now just Katie, I'm not sure what it was at the time, but I'm fairly sure it was something different. She gave the collection a glowing review and got people really excited to buy it.
Blends nicely, good pigmentation. I really like the color, the dusty mauve tone. This looks like just such a pretty, like, summery blush highlight palette.
However, this hype wouldn't last long, because a few days later, Jaclyn Hill released her review, which showed the true performance of the collection as mediocre at best, awful at worst.
Okay, so if you can see on camera, I have blended this to the best of my capability over here, and you can see it's just like kind of patchy and just ashy, like it's not wanting to live its best life on my eyelid, and I don't know why, because I prepped my eyelid. I use eye cream every day. My eyelids aren't dry right now, but you can see that's the current situation. Okay, so I literally do not see the blush. Like, I'm not even kidding. I do not see it at all.
And I'm sure that there was another person who did a review, but I cannot for the life of me think of who it was, who was like desperate to try and say something good about the products. And I'm sure it was a big YouTuber, but I can't think who it was. So if you know who it was, then please tell me, because it's really frustrating that I can't think who it was. But they like used the products and they were clearly not working, but they were saying like, oh, this blush is so nice, when literally no pigment was going on their face. And that was what Jaclyn said, that the blushes had no pigment, the eyeshadow was unblendable, and pretty much everything that she said was the opposite of what Katie had said in her video. And any person who'd made a positive review of this collection was then accused of lying and deceiving their fans, and if they were a big YouTuber, accused of lying to stay on the PR list. And this just made things worse for the brand, because fans had suspected after Jeffree's brush video that there was lying going on in order to stay on the PR list, and this essentially confirmed it by the desperation that these people had to say something good about a product that clearly was not good. It was implied that there would be consequences for saying anything other. And a lot of people value the integrity of brands, and brands that are able to take on criticism and improve their products. So it did leave a bit of a bad taste in people's mouths that Kylie Cosmetics was not able to do with this, and that this was how they dealt with bad reviews. And after this, things went quiet for a while. We had about a year and a half of just normal releases, nothing particularly awful going on. But then in May of 2019, Kylie Cosmetics launched their sister brand, Kylie Skin. And Kylie Skin was to be a line of skincare products that were supposed to go alongside the makeup products to give you the full skin experience. And unfortunately for Kylie, her skincare line had just as much controversy as her makeup line. And unfortunately, it just didn't have the head start that Kylie Cosmetics had. So Kylie Cosmetics had like a year of glowing reviews and really good like hype and popularity, whereas Kylie Skin was dragged through the mud from the start. Right off the bat, people questioned the release of skincare, since this wasn't anything that Kylie had ever shown an interest in, and also the fact that in the promo photos it was clear that she was wearing makeup. She had at least mascara and eyebrows on, if not any skin product, and that doesn't give great confidence in what the products can do if the person behind them doesn't want to, you know, show their bare skin. You know, if the products were that great, why is Kylie not showing how well they've done for her skin? And soon after the launch, skincare experts started to look into the product and realized that the walnut face scrub was a bad decision because it could cause like worse skin for some people, because it could cause micro tears in the surface of the skin, making it more prone to infection. And a lot of people were rightfully concerned about this and refrained from buying the product for fear of damaging their skin. And in general, it's recommended that anyone speak to a dermatologist before using a walnut face scrub because of the potential damage that it can cause. But whether it's damaging for you personally or not depends on things like environment and your particular skin type. So like, you don't know whether it's going to harm you until you use it. Most people understandably did not want to have to book an appointment with a dermatologist just to be able to buy from Kylie's skincare brand, so they just avoided it altogether. And skincare experts were also quick to realize that a lot of the ingredients in the product were in less than 1% concentrations, and therefore the products may not be as effective as they make out to be, or that they were kind of throwing in ingredients just to fill up the ingredients list and make it look like a lot more thought had gone into it than actually had. So Kevin James Bennett used the example of the vanilla toner, specifically focusing on the ingredient, give me a second here, phenoxyethanol. Not sure if I got that right or not, which in this picture, which I'm going to put on the screen, is highlighted in yellow. And by law in America, that ingredient cannot be included in concentrations of more than 1% in any skincare product, which means that every ingredient listed after this is in a less than 1% concentration. Might not have as much effect on the skin as a customer might think. So some ingredients, to be fair, do work better in smaller concentrations, like hyaluronic acid, which works best in like 1 to 2% concentrations, otherwise it can dry your skin out. But the sheer volume of ingredients included at less than 1% did mean people were like questioning why they were even in there in the first place. And another problem encountered by the skincare brand was accusations of fake reviews. One account referenced by the brand's Twitter only had 9 followers and had only been created 3 days after the skincare launch, which naturally caught the suspicion of fans. And although this was only one account, it started to make fans distrusting of the entire brand. Like, if they can't pull together a few good reviews, like so few that they have to make a fake account to make a review, it doesn't look good for the brand. And obviously this is all alleged information. We don't know if that was someone who had made their account to tweet at Kylie, but we don't know. And that account has now been deleted, which is slightly strange. The final kind of nail in the coffin for the Kylie skin brand was when Kylie demoed her using her face wash, and she only left it on for 10 seconds, which for a face wash is really short, and it probably wouldn't actually have any effect from that long. And then she washed it off with a cloth that then had foundation stains on it once she'd finished. This tutorial was a really bad business move because it made it look like Kylie was afraid to use her own products in case they ruined her skin, which kind of shows she doesn't use her own products normally, because if she was using them in that way, they would not be doing anything. If anything, they'd make her skin worse. And it's not a good look when the face of the brand doesn't use anything from the brand and is yet promoting it to their followers, saying, you should go and buy this. I don't want to use it, but you should. And also, Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson teamed up to do a Kylie skin review, which was less than complimentary. And at that point, again, Jeffree was still the internet's favourite critic. This was just before the original Bye Sister, and his critique of Kylie's products did not do any favors for the brand because he had like 16 million followers who he was telling not to go anywhere near it. In this video, Shane Dawson claimed to have a reaction to one of the products, saying that his skin felt like it was burning.
Sorry. It's burning. Is it tingling or no? No, not really. I mean, my skin can take a lot. My skin's like burning. Okay, get the washcloth right now and wipe it off.
And as YouTube's golden boy at that time, this really did not look good for Kylie either. And people believed Shane and was like, well, if it burnt him, I'm not going to use it. The last like big thing that I want to talk about is Kylie's employees. She has had a lot of employees come out and make statements against her, with a lot claiming that they weren't provided with enough safety equipment while they were on the job. They claim they were given only lab coats, gloves and goggles, despite being in contact with toxic chemicals for long hours each day. And this is backed up by a report from TMZ, where they talked about 15 customers who had filed complaints against the brand after receiving their royal peach palettes, and when opening them they had a foul smell smell that they compared to paint thinner and Sharpies. And an investigation deemed that the smell was from the adhesive in the packaging, so the makeup was still safe to use, but these customers had said that they had been given headaches just from being around this palette because of the smell that was coming out of it, so most of them just requested a replacement and said, I don't want to use this. One of them said she had to take it out of her house because it was making her head like hurt that badly. If the chemicals in the packaging can cause that bad of a headache to customers who are only using it for a few minutes, imagine how bad it would be for the employees who are working around that chemical for like 8 or 9 hours a day. And when you think about that, it seems a lack of protection from Kylie that she's not provided them with safety equipment when she knows that they are working around these types of chemicals. And another employee compared the workplace at Spats Labs, which is what Kylie uses, to a sweatshop, stating that they were expected to work long hours for no bonuses and for minimal pay, with the employees also stating that the managers made the environment that they were working in very toxic. And one gave the example that some managers wouldn't let employees speak unless it was to a supervisor, which in this day and age, wow, why would you ever want to work in a place with people like that? And an FDA report was apparently uncovered that showed concerns in many areas of Kylie's workplace, but Spats Labs denied this and said that the workplace was safe and they abided by all federal and state rules. So this is kind of, it's speculation, it's alleged information. We aren't ever gonna know unless Kylie does like a factory tour, but I don't think she will because the brand just wouldn't generate that much hype to the brand anymore. Like back in 2015, 2016, when she was showing her in the labs making the products, then those videos would get like millions of views, but now I just don't think people have the interest and people just wouldn't watch. So before we wrap this video up, I want to make some honourable mentions of a few smaller scandals that Kylie Cosmetics has been in that I haven't mentioned, but also that I don't want to spend too long on. So the first one is rebranding old colours into new colours and then selling them. So one example of this is Spice and Blitzen. So Spice was released before Blitzen and then Blitzen was part of the holiday collection. And Kylie released Blitzen as a new colour, but fans who already had Spice spotted that they were very, very similar, and when compared on the hand they look exactly the same. But obviously Blitzen was sold as limited edition because it was a holiday colour, so it was like Kylie had run out of inspiration or run out of colours and just taken an old one and put it in new packaging. And the next thing is leaking customer information. So the website actually had a glitch back in 2016 where customers would log into their account, but they would get logged into someone else's account rather than theirs, and they would have access to all of that person's personal information, including their home address. Apparently this was a glitch in the website because there was too many people on it, but I don't know how this was allowed to happen. And this was obviously a massive GDPR breach, but well, it would be GDPR in the UK. I don't know what it would be like in the US, what the regulations are in the US, but I'm assuming that you're not supposed to access other people's home addresses. So yeah, that wasn't great. That wasn't a great look for the brand because they obviously were not protecting their customers' information well enough. Third honourable mention goes to bad customer service. There was one example that I want to talk about where a girl had ordered a lip kit, and then when she opened it, it contained a swarm of ants, which is not something that you really want in your makeup, but she said she'd contacted customer service 3 times and then they said they'd send a replacement. They didn't, so she posted a video of all the ants in her lip gloss on Instagram, and then the customer service responded and said they would send her a replacement again. I don't know if she ever received it. I got this information from a video. I don't have the actual footage of this girl, so I can't tell you whether that is 100% true or not, but I'm assuming that this person used their sources since it seems to be like a news source. So if that did happen, that kind of shows that the customer service really don't listen to the customers. I don't think I've ever had to get in contact with Kylie's customer service. I've only ordered from them twice, but I have seen a lot of people say that the customer service is really not good. And the last honourable mention is the bad Photoshop on the website. So I don't know if they do this anymore, but there was a period where every new colour, they would use the same picture and then just Photoshop the colour onto the person's lips. And I don't know why they did this. Like, Kylie Cosmetics was worth $300 million within a year. Surely they could have paid either for more models, for longer time at photo shoots, or for a good like Photoshopper, someone good at graphic design, because these They made no effort to hide the fact that these pictures were photoshopped, and I really don't understand why they wouldn't. People were looking at that going, well, that's obviously not what it actually looks like because it's been photoshopped on. Like, why did they not just take pictures of every lip color? That makes no sense to me. That is our last honorable mention, so we are now at the end of the video. If you have made it this far, then thank you so much, because I know that this was a bit of a slog. I've been talking for 35 minutes and I'm exhausted, so I can't imagine how you feel watching me talk for 35 minutes. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, this is like the 4th installment in a kind of everything wrong with a brand series, so I will link the other 3 videos down below and in a playlist in the corner if you want to go and watch them. I did one on Morphe, one on Brandy Melville, and one on Shein, so if those sound interesting to you, then they are there for you to watch if you want to. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you have any thoughts, if I've missed anything, or if you've ever had a customer service experience from Kylie Cosmetics, then feel free to leave that in the description, not in the description, in the comment section below. God, it's been a long day. And if you want to see more videos like this, then the subscribe button is always there. If you want to see more of my face, then subscribe to the channel. I've basically said the same thing twice. I just need to finish this. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I will hopefully see you all in the next one. Bye guys.